Hey guys, it's Katie from Belle Petite Pastries, and it's a random Friday night, and I've been in my kitchen all day cooking for this Saturday's farmers market at Wright's Farmers Market in Newport Richey on Main Street. If you happen to be in the Newport Richey area, come see us this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Wright's Farmers Market at their farmers market on Main. And it is also the Belle Petite Pastries 1 year birthday tomorrow. We are one tomorrow. It has been a crazy first year, and I am so excited we've made it through this first year. So come Sunday if you're in the area and say hi to us. But I decided to do a special edition of making macarons, and I am actually going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you guys how we make macarons. So I'm going to take you through my entire process. It's going to be really cool. So hang with me. Here we go. I want to make sure you're able to see everything, see what I'm doing. Let's see. Whoop, sorry. There we go. All right. You may not be able to see my face this whole time, but you will be able to hear my voice. So follow along, guys. Oh, and I have an actual ring light now, so I don't have ridiculous, stupid lighting. So this should be much better going forward with these episodes. But come on, I'm going to show you how to make macarons. So we are going to start by actually, I think I'm going to go turn on the actual room light here because I think it will actually make this brighter. So give me a minute. Is that better? Does that look better? I think it looks better. I'm going to go with yes. So back to making macarons. This is how I start out every time. I always take 3 paper towels and I will fold them up. And we're in my little bakery studio room in my house. So you want to actually clean everything with white vinegar. This is the best thing you can clean it with right here. All your utensils before you make macarons. You don't want any residue from the dishwasher, any residue from soap, any oils from previous macaron bakes. You don't want any of that on there, and this will take it off. So make sure you do this. See, can you see? Guys, see what I'm doing? There we go. There's my KitchenAid. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bowl. And then I'm just going to make sure I wipe it out really good. So let me take it off of here so you guys can see what I'm doing. See, there it is down in the bowl. So I'm just wiping it out really good to make sure nothing is going to interfere with this bake that I'm doing tonight. All right. Bowl's all clean. Bowl's all clean. I'm going to put that back on its little thing there, and I'm going to wipe off. Take this off real quick. Also going to wipe off my whisk. You literally want to wipe off everything. You want to get all of this off. There you go. All of it off. All of it off. Yes, I do sing and dance while I'm doing this. Just to warn you. Consider yourself warned. So how's everybody doing? What's everybody doing on Friday night? Are you as cool as me in baking? Or do you have a life and you're actually going out somewhere? Okay. Cleaning out my bowls, wiping them all out with the vinegar. And don't worry, guys, this is not going to make your macarons smell or taste like vinegar. If you are worried about that, don't be, because it ain't going to happen. All your spoons. Da-da-da. Okay. Any of your, you didn't see that. Okay. Any of your spatulas. I'm going to wipe down anything that's going to touch these macarons. Even if the bowl looks clean, like you don't want to chance it. You want to make sure it's cleaned out. So here we go, here we go, here we go. So I was a student at Escoffier for like about 5 minutes last year. And they gave me this whisk. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is like the nicest whisk I've ever owned in my life. Really good whisk. I don't know how this little thingamadoogie at the top makes a difference, but it does, and it's awesome. So I'm still wiping. So come join me. Come ask me questions. Come annoy me while I annoy you. My strainer, you definitely want to wipe that out. Okay. We're almost there. Wiping out my bowl. Wiping out my bowl. This is the big bowl that the meringue's going in. Okay. I also use a food processor when I make my macarons. So because I really want to make sure that they are that the almond flour and the powdered sugar is not clumped up at all, and that it's going to be really like smooth and shiny on the top. I don't want any bumps in the top of my macarons. So the food processor right there behind me is optional. You don't have to do it. I do it because I just, I'm a Virgo. I'm an A-type personality. I'm a semi-perfectionist, and I don't want any bumps in my macarons. So, I mean, even the bubbles drive me crazy. I'll show you what I'm talking about when we get to that point. So, I'm going to wipe out my food processor real quick so we can get this party started. And I'm going to leave my top off of it after I do that, just because I'm going to be using it in a minute. So there's no point in putting the top back on there because I'm just going to be screwing it on, screwing it off, and there's no. Okay, guys. So let me show you the mat I'm going to be using this time. And I'm going to show you a regular macaron mat and the Silpat mat I'm using, which is actually a French macaron mat. It literally says perfect macaron on the top. And it's made in France and is specifically made for French macarons. Well, macarons, period, but French macarons. So they're a little bigger than the American mats and the American macarons. So let me show you the difference real quick. This is the mat I'm using tonight. If you see, it says perfect macaron on the top. And it says Silpat, and it even says made in France at the bottom. This one mat, remember how I told you that the mats are stupid expensive? This one mat is about $24 on Amazon. So yeah. But it also has like probably about 2.5-inch macarons that you'll make. I'm making these because I'm gonna put a logo on the top of these, so I want them to be a little bit bigger. But these are like the actual French macarons. And another thing about the mat, when you do this, you want to make sure that you really wipe this mat off with the white vinegar. You don't want any dust, any dirt, you know, any kind of oils, anything getting into this new bake of macarons. It's going to make a huge difference, I promise you. And also, I use air bake trays. I used to use the regular trays and flip them upside down, but the air bake trays, they give the macarons fluffier feet, in my opinions. They cook better. The colors are prettier and brighter. I'm an an air bake tray junkie when it comes to making macarons. That's just me. You do you, but that's what I do. So, all right, got my mat wiped down, and let's set that back to the side because we will not need this for a little while. Just to show you, this is the normal macaron mat that I use. It's a Kitzini. I think I'm saying that correctly. There's the name of it. But that's the one I normally use. And it has like a 1.5-inch circle in the middle and then the 2-inch circle on the outside. These are the ones I normally use for like a regular batch of macarons. If I'm not going to put a logo on the top of them, I am going to use both mats tonight. So I'm going to wipe both of them down. These mats are probably, I think you can get like 2 for $15 on Amazon. So, unless you want to do the bigger macarons with the Silpat mat, shoot for these. Or even Amazon's regular mats, those are really good too. Like those are nice looking and they work really well. But I really like the Kitzini and I really like the Silpat, but the Silpat's like stupid expensive for just one. So, do what you do. Those are mine. So I'm going to set this back to the side, let it dry. And this is driving me crazy here. I hate that you guys can't, it's either see my table or see my face. I don't like that. That's not cool. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you guys what I'm doing here. I'm going to get these macarons going. Let me kind of explain my ingredients a little bit. After I wipe down all of my materials, because like I said, I want to get anything from the previous bakes off or any kind of washing detergent off from your sink. No, I'm not wearing gloves. Yes, my hands are clean. And not only are they clean, they're covered in white vinegar. Woo, yeah. Nice smell. Okay. All that's wiped down. We're good to go. It's go time. So, all right. Another thing I want to explain to you guys that I do, these are my ingredients that I use when I am making a batch of macarons. Okay. I always have my almond flour. This is my almond flour in here. I keep it in an airtight container. And when it's not in this container, it's in the original bag that it came in my freezer until I put it into this airtight container because I want it to stay fresh. So I use Blue Diamond. It has consistently been the best almond flour I can find. And it's kind of the best bang for your buck because literally you get, I think I get like, I want to say 3 pounds for like $14 or $15 on Amazon. But yeah, try out the Blue Diamond. There's some that are way more expensive and it's really not, you don't want to use cheap almond flour, because if you do, your macarons are not going to turn out right. So try out the Blue Diamond on Amazon. It's really good and it works really well. Keep it frozen until you're going to use it. And then once you are going to open it and use it, put it in an airtight container. And then, if you're cool like me, put a small business owner sticker on the top or, whatever. So that's my almond flour. I also use Judy's dried egg whites. I live in Florida and it does get humid here. So you definitely want to, well, if you're living in a humid climate, you need to use cream of tartar and dried egg whites because they're stabilizers for your macarons. If I didn't use these, I would probably have flat macarons with little bitty feet. And I want puffy macarons with big feet. So I do use Judy's dried egg whites. I use cream of tartar as a stabilizer. All of this is available on Amazon, by the way. Salt. Sugar. Sugar does make a difference. I used to just use like Walmart or whatever brand I can pick up. I don't suggest that. Like actually buy good sugar. I use the Dixie Crystals Pure Cane. It's thin. It's like almost like sand, but it mixes with the meringue like perfectly. So that's my recommendation. And you can get this at any grocery store. You don't have to order it off Amazon, unless you just don't like going to grocery stores. And egg whites. Obviously you can use carton egg whites. You can buy carton egg whites at the grocery store, use those if you want. I choose to make aged egg whites, which these are they're cartoned eggs. And basically what I do is I take between like 4 to 8 of them out. I'll crack them in a bowl. I will take the egg yolk and throw it out. And I'll put all the egg white into this container and, kind of mix it up. Don't make scrambled eggs with it. Just mix it up enough to mix it in a container like this. Take some plastic wrap, put it over the top, poke some holes in it, put a little rubber band around it to keep it secure. And make sure you poke the holes. It's important that you poke the holes in the top because it needs to be able to breathe. And then put it in your refrigerator for 24 to 48 hours or whenever you're planning on using it, but not before 24 hours. I don't recommend. But then you have aged eggs. And I'm telling you, these are going to give you puffy feet on your macarons. And I love it. Now that I use aged eggs, if I don't have to use carton, I won't. Like the actual cartoned egg whites. I will not use them if I don't have to. I will go out of my way to make the aged egg whites every time. Highly suggest them. And that recipe, remember I told you our next episode of making macarons, which is this Monday at 8:45. La Petite Macarons, the Macaron Bible, the book that I'm going to go over. It is actually the book that taught me how to make the aged eggs, the aged egg whites. So another great thing from the Macaron Bible. So yeah. So let's get busy making these. Let me show you how I do this. The other thing I have that you have to have, it is a must-have with macarons. You need a scale because you got to weigh out everything you pour in that bowl. So there's your scale right there. Okay. You want to put it to grams and you want to total it out. So we're turning on the scale. Scale's on. And I'm going to set it back down on my table. And I'm going to put this back down where you can pretty much, hopefully, see what I'm doing. You guys see that? Hopefully see what I'm doing here. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Put all of our ingredients back over here so they're within reach. And I'm just going to kind of give you a basic rundown of how I make macarons. Oh, I'm also using color in my macarons this time. Since I'm going to make strawberry, I'm going to use deep pink and I'm going to use a little bit of pale peony because I want just like a pretty sparkly pink shell, but I will show you that when we get to it. So, let's set the color up there. I'm gonna turn on my scale, weigh my bowl. All right, and I'm gonna total it out. 145 grams. All right, and I am gonna put the almond flour in. You guys can see the almond flour, right? I like to use one of these little white spoons. You know, you use whatever you want, but so I'm going to put 165 grams of almond flour into my bowl. Oh, one over. Really? Oh, hey, we're at 165. You either, when you are putting your powdered sugar in, which is the one ingredient I forgot to grab, when you're putting your powdered sugar in, you want to put equal to, but not more than the almond flour, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm also going to put 165 grams of powdered sugar in with the almond flour, and it's going to equal to 330 grams. So let's do that. Pour the rest of this in there. Okay. And just to keep things equal, I'm just going to stick with the same type. I'm using the Dixie Crystal, pure cane sugar, powdered sugar also. No, don't turn off on me. I hate when powdered sugar goes flying everywhere. This stuff is so messy. It's crazy and it's messy, but whatever. It is what it is, I guess. You're baking. Is it really supposed to be clean? I mean, not, yes, it's supposed to be clean, but I mean, is it not supposed to be messy? Okay, we're going to get to 330 here. Don't worry, enough powdered sugar here where I'm not going to get the almond flour mixed in with it. But let's get to 330. Almost there. Oh, there we go. All right. 330 grams total of almond flour and powdered sugar right there. Check this out, guys. My little monkey clip. He's so cute. Because, you know, when I'm in here, I'm just monkeying around. And then you're going to want to take and put in 2 grams of iodized salt. Okay. So between your almond flour, powdered sugar, and iodized salt, it should all total to 332 grams. Okay. There's your dry ingredients, folks. And you're going to take one of your whisk, and you're just going to whisk all of this together. Yay! Just, you know, I literally just whisk it until it is all mixed together. You can kind of, I don't know if you can really see it with my light, but yeah. I just do it till it's all mixed together. All right. I think that's good. Okay, so let's put that back on here. We're going to put our almond flour out of the way. And I'm going to take my little towel here and wipe off some of the mess we've already made, or I've already made, not we. I always wipe off my utensils with a clean cloth in between just because I feel like, you know, if I'm going to use them again, I want them already cleaned off. So, okay. Now, I'm going to try to turn you, excuse me for a minute. I'm going to try to turn you where you can see my, can you see it? There it is. Here is my food processor. So what I do with this is I take the entire mixture that I made, you know, the almond flour, the powdered sugar, and the iodized salt, the 332 grams, and I put all of it into my food processor. And I don't want any of it to get out because this is weighted ingredients. So you want to make sure, you know, all of it makes it in. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. I'm going to turn. Okay. There we go. Okay. So put your bowl back down. Mix this around a little bit. And this is going to get loud. If you guys hear cats in the background, I have 4 of them. So you may hear some meowing. I hear my little guy. We have a solid black cat with gold eyes. His name is Salem, and he is a talker. So you may hear him. He's opinionated. I'm gonna wipe out my bowl. Get all the dry ingredient out. Just basically wiping it out with a clean, dry rag, making sure, because I use the same bowl for everything. So, see, you just want to make sure you have none of your old ingredients in there. Put it back on there. And put this together. La-di-da. My food processor comes with its own scraper, which is awesome. I think I get everything off Amazon. I'm sure I got this off Amazon also. And this has a really cool little sticker on here that I don't know if you guys can see or not. But it says, minding my own small biz. I also have a sweatshirt that says that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pulse this 4 times, 3 seconds apiece. And I am going to mix it. Well, I'm going to scrape it every time I run the pulser. So hang with me. It's going to get loud for a minute. Okay, and last time I slowly count to 3 because I just want to make sure the almond flour and powdered sugar and salt is ground down nicely. So when you make the macarons, when you pipe them out and you bake them, you're going to have those smooth tops that don't have any granules or anything stuck in them. And they're also going to be a lot more shiny and adhere to the color better. This is optional. You don't have to do this step. I do it because, like I said, I'm a freak of nature. I'm a perfectionist, and I really like the macarons looking shiny and pretty. And I don't know. I think they're nice looking. Okay, last time. All right, guys. We are done with the pulsing. take all this out. Be careful when you're like, if you're using one of these and you're shaking it off like this, don't try to keep it in the bowl. Remember, this is weighted ingredients and you don't want it flying everywhere. I'm just getting all the extra off. I don't want it to. There we go. Wiping my spatula off again. Okay. So now what we're going to do with this is I'm going to take my big bowl here with my strainer or sieve or call it whatever you want to call it. And I am going to strain this stuff. So it's just an extra measure. Like I said, you would think with everything I've already done, oh, that's ground down. There's no way you could possibly have like bumps or any kind of lumps still in there. You can, and you will. Watch me. So I do it in 2 sections just because this is a lot. You can also take your spatula and like do like this, kind of mix it around, try to get, all the pieces off. But hang on just a minute and I will show you what I'm talking about. How you've got you still got little pieces all in here. Okay, so look at this. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you can. Let me pour it in my hand. But this was still in there. If you can see, this is awful. If you can see it at all, probably, I don't even know if you can, but there's still a bunch of bumps and lumps all in there. So yeah, you can still, and that would have went into your mixture had you not done this extra step. So you just take that, throw it out, and then proceed to doing this to the rest of it. And make sure you scrape all of it out of the bottom. See, make sure you get all of that out of there. Get all that good stuff. Like I said, it's weighted, so you don't want to miss any of it because then it's, obviously you're going to lose some of it in the process, but still. So we're going to sieve it into our bowl. I never, before I started making French macarons, I'm not even going to lie to you, I never used the word sieve in my life before. This is like, never used that word before. Now I use it all the time. So there you go. Fun. And once again, huge, maybe you can see it from the bottom. I don't even know. Like I've got horrible angling in here. Huge chunks that would have been in there had you not done this. So this is an important step, guys. Remember that. Hello, whoever just joined me. Oh, it's my husband. I'm doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong, Christopher? My husband's critiquing me right now. I'm just wiping all my stuff out. Okay, babe, you can't tell me I'm doing wrong and then not tell me what I'm doing. What am I doing wrong? All right. Put that back together. Wipe that off later. Ah! Really? Okay. So now we've got the whole bowl, and I've got all of my ingredients, my dry ingredients mixed in there. But if you look, it's like thin wispy sand now, and it's all mixed together, and it's going to come out with really pretty macarons here. So we're going to set that aside because we're done with the dry ingredients for now. Clean up our area a little bit. And hang on. What is going on with my computer here? My computer's been stuck on stupidly. Oh, wait. What? Let me respond to him real quick. I'm just curious. Like, my husband. CeeLo. Chris said you're doing it. I am not doing anything wrong. What are you talking about, Christopher? Okay, we're going to move on to the wet ingredients because my husband's lost his mind. So, yeah. And you're at work, so why are you critiquing me right now? I'm calling people out. So going back to our totaled out scale here. Okay. So you're going to take your sugar. You're going to want your sugar this time. And you're going to put 150 grams of granulated sugar in your bowl. That's 150 grams, 150. And it seems like a lot of sugar, but trust me, it's not as bad as it seems. Like, you won't taste this much sugar. It won't be like, oh my God, I've bit into a sugar cube. I promise you. Oh, yeah, you both can bite me. That's right, I went there. Hang on. Trying to get this to even out. Okay, there we go. So we have exactly 150 grams of granulated sugar. There you go. All right. Now, this is where, because I'm in Florida and there's humidity and I don't want my macarons to look crazy with no feet and be all flat, this is where I'm going to add the dried egg whites. So I am literally going to take 5 grams of the dried egg whites and put it into the 150 grams of granulated sugar. Oh, stupid scale. Okay. And you don't want to waste any of these products because these products are like, they're stupid expensive. Like I think this little bag right here, this is like an 8-ounce bag of dried egg whites. And I think it might be like between $18 and $20 on Amazon. So yeah, you don't want to waste any of this unless you just like spending money. And when you're only using 5 grams a piece, making macarons at the most, this 8-ounce bag should last you a while. Unless you're just banging out macarons all the time. And then, so you take the granulated sugar and the egg white, the dried egg whites, and you're just going to whisk it together. Oh, whisk together. And yes, the dried egg whites are yellow, but don't worry about it because it's not going to it's not going to turn your macaron yellow or anything. And then just put it into my separate little bowl. That's what my separate little bowl is for. It's for my granulated sugar and my egg whites. Dry egg whites, not wet egg whites. I set that aside. Wipe out my bowl again. That's a really important thing. You want to wipe out the bowl between the two. So Carlos is CeeLo. Is that? Okay. I was confused here for a minute because I've got Chris Tebow, CeeLo. There's like all these similar names on here. Okay. So you're going to take your wet egg whites now. And liquid egg whites, not wet egg whites. See, Christopher, you threw me all off. I'm blaming my husband. It's his fault. He's distracting me. And you want to take your new whisk to do this. Don't use the same whisk you've been mixing your dry ingredients with. Take the new whisk and you want to actually mix these up a little bit before you use them. And like I said, you're not making scrambled eggs. You just want to mix it together pretty much. It's okay. I'm just messing with you. All right. So we've mixed it up a little bit. And then you want to put 115 of the liquid egg whites into the bowl. So 115 grams. That's 115 grams. I try to go slow with this at the end for the simple fact that it's so easy to over pour these. Okay. Okay. So 115 grams of the liquid egg whites. And then as another stabilizer, the other stabilizer I use, you're going to want to put 3 grams of cream of tartar into the liquid egg whites for a total of 118 grams for everything. Okay. There we go. All right. And then you're going to take your new whisk and you're going to whisk that together. And you just literally want to incorporate it. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to incorporate it. And you want to make sure it's, get all the cream of tartar in there. But you just want to incorporate it. You're not making scrambled eggs. You're making meringue. And a scrambled egg macaron, if you were even able to attempt that, would be absolutely disgusting. Okay. So there is your liquid egg whites with the cream of tartar in it. So once you do that, you're going to take that with your spatula and you're going to put it into, shift the camera back this way, to the KitchenAid, and you're going to pour it all into your KitchenAid, and you definitely want to scrape down the bowl because, like I've said 15 times already, this is weighted ingredients, and you want to make sure that you get all of it in there, or your weight and your ratios are going to be off, and it's going to matter. And then you're not going to have macarons. You're going to have what we refer to in the macaron world as mac wongs. And yeah, you don't want that because nobody wants a mac wong. They want a mac right or a macaron. Okay, so now we're going to turn this on. And you just want to start mixing it for a little while. I mean, literally for like 1 or 2 minutes, you want to mix the egg whites in the liquid egg whites in the cream of tartar until you see it start getting like a little bubbly or a little frothy. That's, that's all you want to do. And then once that starts happening, you're going to pour your dried egg whites and granulated sugar in there. So. I do it in 2 different sections. You don't have to. You can pour it all in at once. People like to separate it just to get it incorporated better. But yeah. Pour it all in. You're going to turn up the speed and you're going to let it mix. So there you go. I'm going to put the top on here. Just because I don't want any splashing to happen. At this point, you can also turn off your scale if you want to, or let it turn off by itself, whatever. But you can put your scale away because you don't need it anymore. So there's that. You can do a little cleaning up. All right. So now you still have your dry ingredients laying over here at the side. And basically, if you don't know what we're doing right now, in this bowl, we are making the meringue that is going to go in your dry ingredients and mix together and make macarons. So this process, the meringue process in the stand mixer, depending on your stand mixer, it could take 8 to 25 minutes to make the meringue correctly, because you want to make sure you have very stiff peaks. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. That's another good thing about using the stabilizers, the cream of tartar and the dried egg white powder, is because it basically is foolproof, where you cannot overmix your meringue. It's basically a good way to prevent you from totally overmixing your meringue and messing up your macarons, because macarons are so delicate and they're so precise, and you have to be so careful with the way you measure everything and make everything. That was one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, was because I wanted to show you guys how intricate everything is, how you have to precisely weigh everything, how everything has to be a certain way, and if it's done wrong at all, you're going to end up with mac wongs. And that's, then you have to start all over, because they're going to be tasty, but they're not going to be right. So we're just basically, we're going to keep eyeballing that. We're going to keep eyeballing the mixing meringue, your wet ingredients. And at this time, also, if you're using colors, like I'm using AmeriColor, you want to make sure that you use let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. You want to use the soft gel paste food color, or you could also use I also use the Sugar Art Master Elite. These are the only 2 you want to use when you're making macarons and putting it in your meringue. If you put in liquid food coloring, you you've messed it all up. So you either want to stick to like Americolor or Chef Master. So you want to either stick to Chef Master. There you go. See if you can see that Chef Master, or you want to stick to Master Elite, Sugar Art, and or you want to stick to Americolor. Those are the three you want to use when you are making. You can also use Wilton's, but these are probably the three best if you want really good, vibrant, intense color for your macarons. You want to go with Master Elite with Sugar Art. This is going to give you the most intense color. But you definitely want to make sure you are using gel. Do not use liquid. You use liquid and it's game over for your macarons. So, also, if you're doing color for the first time, I would suggest getting used to making macarons, actually like getting used to making them and just getting getting the steps down and getting the method down and learning what you're doing before you try to incorporate any color. I mean, colors are fun to play with and all, but if you put too much, if you put too much color in, you got to remember you're adding liquid that's not weighted. So if you put too much in, it's you could mess up the whole meringue system. So you definitely want to get your system down before you start actually adding colors. So, but if you're going to add colors and you have your system down, or you just want to play around and see, then this is when you would add it, is when your meringue is mixing. So I'm going to shake my bottle because I want to make sure it's mixed up correctly. And you want to only add maybe 1.5 drops. So just something like that in there. One little drop. And you can do it while the meringue is mixing, while the meringue is forming, or you can put it, once you put the meringue in your dry ingredients, you can add the food coloring then. You can do it at either point. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. And I will do both. I used to do it only when the meringue was in my dry ingredients. Now I do it while it's mixing. And with these colors, you want to remember a little goes a long way. So don't put it in there and squeeze. I mean, literally just like one drop, boom, done. You're good. If you're using the Sugar Art Master Elite colors, you literally want to put like a little dash of the powder and boom, you're done. It's the same thing if you're making royal icing colors, because a little goes a long way. And the color's going to intensify as it's mixing and as it's cooking in the oven. So remember that. You don't want to go crazy because the color will intensify. There we go. So I only did 1 drop of each. And the pale peony, it's literally a pale pink. All it's going to do, all this pale peony is going to do, if I had used it by itself, you would have seen a little shimmer, but no pink. The reason I add the deep pink with it is because I want the pink color, but I want the kind of pretty shimmery, sparkly a little bit glow that you get from adding the pale peony with it. That's why I do the 2 of these when I'm making a pink shell. And when I'm making, and I can, since this is the deep pink, I can make a dark pink shell with it. I can make a baby pink shell with it. I can make a barely there pink shell with a blush pink shell. So, you can really play with these colors. But like I said, get your system down first before you start playing with these colors, because this is enough to learn without trying to incorporate things. All right, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit, or we're going to be standing here all night. So I'm going to get that meringue going a little faster, mix it a little more. So, if you have any questions or if you're curious what I'm doing, then ask me and I'll let you know. And even if you're putting the color in and say the color's only on the, like the pelpione didn't fall all the way into the meringue, so it's kind of hanging out on the side of the bowl. When I go to scrape it out to put it in the dry ingredients, the meringue, that color's going to mix in anyway, so don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So, how has everybody been doing? How's your week going? I've had a very interesting week. I don't even know if you can hear me with this stand mixer going on in the back here, but I got a new job. I'm going back into the medical field, except this time I'm going into ophthalmology. I'm going to be a refractive coordinator for Newsom Eye. It's going to be a totally new adventure for me. I'm very excited about it. So I start training Monday. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, I'm taking a break from oncology. Just need to step away from that world for a while. But yeah, so I'm going to go into ophthalmology and help people do LASIK and refractive cataract surgery, and I'm kind of excited about it. This is going to be a new. I love new things, so and I don't back down from challenges. So I'm excited about this. All right, let's check on this meringue. Oh, we're getting there. I'm going to stop it sooner than I normally would because I want to show you guys what it looks like when it's not quite ready yet. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to stop it for a minute. And I'm going to take the top off. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Do you see how the meringue is still... It will not let me take it off. What are you doing? Stop it. Give me my thing. Well, it's pouring off. Clearly, it's not. You can tell it's dripping. It's drippy. It's getting a little more stiff, but it is definitely not there yet. So we're going to lock this back, and we're going to keep going. Also, to let you know, this whole recipe that I'm using, like, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the video. When I go back and do everything, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the video so you guys have the recipe. But this entire recipe is the recipe I use to make French macarons. That, surprise, surprise, came out of La Petite Macarons. So this has been the best recipe I've ever used, and I've used a few of them, and it all came out of the Macaron Bible. So yeah, let's check the spring again. Okay, it looks like we're either there or we are very close to being there. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to try to move the stand mixer closer to the camera so you guys can actually see it. You come to me. All right, you should be able to see it a little better. Okay. So, if you look, first of all, when you mix it around, when you take your top off and you mix it, or when you take your whisk off and you mix it around, the meringue should fight you. There should be some, pull. There's really no fight in this, but it's better than it was last time. But see, that is a very, very, very soft peak. Like, that's ridiculously soft. But you are starting to see some thickness form. So we're going to put this back on. And we're going to start it back up. 2 or 3 more minutes and we should be good to go with the meringue. So, to me, this is the boring part of making macarons. Because you're just sitting here and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and checking and waiting. This is the boring part of making macarons. But you want to keep watching it, because you let this go too long and you're going to have trouble. So just do not leave the room. Keep your eye on it. Ooh, I think we might be there. Oh. Okay, so it is fighting me when I stir it, which is really good. Let's see what we got. Look at that, guys. Do you see the difference? Look at that. Now, I mean, that little bird beak is okay. That is fine. The bird beak looks good, but look at that meringue. Now, if I knocked all of it off of my whisk, see? And then I mix it around a little bit and just kind of like wiggle it to see what it does. That is pretty good, but I want it a little more stiff. I don't want that much of a bird beak. So we're going to probably do it maybe 1 more minute and you should have completely stiff meringue that's ready to mix. So hang on there, guys. We're almost there. Speed this process up. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect. Do you guys see that? That is perfect, stiff meringue right there. That is a stiff peak on a meringue. There you go. That's what you want your meringue to look like before you put it in your dry ingredients to do something called macaronaging. All right, let's get on it. Okay, so now we are going to take all of our meringue, and another way you know your meringue is perfect and ready, you can do the bowl like this and nothing falls out. So if you can hold this bowl upside down and nothing falls out, your meringue's ready. So we're going to scrape it all out here, and we are going to add it directly into our almond flour, powdered sugar, and salt that we made earlier. So let's add all this in. Some people will add this in stages. I don't do that. I add all of it in at the same time. I don't see the point in doing it in stages, but some people will. It's just all a preference. And maybe you know, maybe you don't, but making macarons is an art form. It is really an art form. You want to get all of your meringue out of here, by the way, like um, all of it that you can. Don't sit there and scrape the whole bowl. But, you know. So the bowl is pretty much empty now. And now into your dry ingredients is your meringue. So you want to start mixing it all together. This process is referred to as macaronaging. You're mixing your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients, and you're going to fold it. Literally, in the beginning, I kind of mix it a little bit just to get everything off the bottom because I don't want it flying everywhere. But you are literally just going to take it and fold it in together. You guys see what I'm doing? Can you see me folding it? So I'm going to set it down so I can actually do this. If I can move the camera down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. There you go. And you want to get your dry ingredients off the bottom. Make sure it's all mixed in together. This part is kind of difficult for me because I have tendonitis and really bad in my wrist. So you may see me pause every now and then, but you're not actually supposed to pause while you're doing this. But I have no choice because my wrist goes out on me. If you're getting too much on your spatula, just wipe it off on the side of your bowl and just reincorporate it. And I'm going to show you. You want to do this until the meringue flows like a ribbon off of your spatula. And I will show you exactly what I'm talking about with that. So you just keep folding and folding and folding. And if you look, it's kind of starting to look like that now. But it's not quite ready yet. See, if I picked up a glob of it, see, it still just kind of globs off. You don't want it to do that. We're getting there, but we're not quite there. And at this point, I will also mix it and kind of press in when I go around, just basically trying to deflate the meringue, trying to get the air out of it. We're almost there. Okay. So take a glob of it and see. So do you see how it's ribboning? You don't want that ribbon to break. That ribbon breaks while you're doing that. It's still not quite ready, but you want to be very careful about this because if you overmix this, it's sayonara macarons. So, you see? Can you guys see that? Let's see. See the ribbon? You guys see that? Oh, mine keeps breaking, so obviously that's not good enough yet. Try it again. There you go. See the ribbon? And even if you want to, stop mixing at this point. You can go around one more time if you want. That's it, guys. So I'm going to show you one more time. You want to see that ribbon right there. Perfect flowing ribbon. That's what you want. Your meringue is ready. You're done macaraging, and you want to go into your piping bags. I have my 2 piping bags with my tips. Piping bag with my tip on the end, already in my cup. You want to make sure these are pre-made before you do all this because you want to move quickly at this point. So you're going to take, I have 2 cups made because this always is too much for 1 cup. But you want to put it in, you want to put the batter into your piping bags. And it's okay if you don't split it up evenly. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I'm getting all of it out of the bowl. And then there you go. Now all of it's in there. I'm going to move my KitchenAid back into its spout. Okay. And you're going to take your bags out. See, there's the bag with the meringue in it. Put it on the table. And you're going to want to take one of these cake scrapers. Take the macaron bag and you want to push it all the way down. That way, make sure you get all of that goodness in there. Push it all the way down, fold it over, and then you can just sit it down until you're ready to use it. A little bit might come out of the end, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to take both of my bags and do this. I have a coupler on one piping tip and not one on the other, simply because I do not have 2 big couplers. Only reason why. So if you're wondering if there's a reason for that, there's not. So now, I'm going to bring my mats over here and I'm going to pipe. So here's our mat, our macaron mat. Okay. And you're going to take your meringue in your piping bag. You want to hold it at a 90-degree angle and pipe straight down like this. There you go. Some people like to do the little whirly whip. I don't worry about it. It's not necessary. You don't have to do it. Some people just like doing it. I just don't. I don't bother with it. Plus, I've just never been able to make it look right. Look at that. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see the macarons? I'm doing it with one hand for a minute here just so you guys can see what I'm doing. But you want to hold it straight up and down. You definitely want to have it at a 90-degree angle. There you go. Like I said, these Silpat mats are bigger than your normal macarons. So So there you go. There's a piped tray, but once it's piped, you want to hold it and you want to bang it on the bottom. Now you want to get the air bubbles out. So now we're banging the mat. And then after you do that, I like to hit it on the table a few times. I rotate the tray and do it evenly on every side. And then, as you see, I'm dropping it a few times on the table because I want to get as many air bubbles to pop or rise to the surface as possible. And the ones that didn't pop, see, you can see the tray of them. There you go. There's perfectly piped macarons on a silpat tray. The bubbles that are at the top, you can take your little scribe here and you can pop the bubbles. So you literally just pipe them. You literally just pop them and then you just mix them back around just to cover up where you did it. That's all you do. And I do this because some people don't care about the bubbles. And this is another thing, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do this. I do it because I don't want little holes or little craters or divots in the tops of my macarons from where they've popped while they're cooking. So I just try to go ahead and get all of them out so they're just not there. I just don't want them. They drive me nuts. Plus, I'm going to tell you all a weird fact about me. I am a big fan of the zit popping videos. So anytime I see this whole bubble thing and I get to pop them, I get really excited. I'm like, oh, I get to pop bubbles in macarons. Yay! So yeah, just go around and lightly pop them. And you don't, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to get all of them. But you want to get at least the big ones. Or don't get them, whatever. It's your macaron. You do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to mac it to. But I just do it, like I said, because I hate the bubbles. I don't want them. I can do without the tiny bubbles. Okay. I think we're pretty much good on this mat, guys. My husband just redid this entire studio for me. He bought tables and put them in, and he's put in all kinds of shelves. And he put in a shelf from his work the other day that has it's basically like baking trays. I can put my macarons on there and they will dry. So I'm gonna put these. So those are good to go. They're completely done and piped. And I'm gonna put them on my little tray over here and I'm gonna let them dry for about 10 to 15 minutes and then we're gonna put them in the oven. So hang with me, I'll be right back. Okay. This is a regular tray, not an air bake tray, just a regular cookie sheet. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to flip it over, set it like that. And I'm going to put my Pizzini mat on top of it, on the back of it. And it just happens to fit perfectly. And I'm going to pipe the regular size macarons. So here we go. I want to move my other hand out of the way so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Until you really learn how to do this, I don't suggest, piping one-handedly. Okay. I'm going to push on the bag here just to get the rest of it out. Oh, the hubby's home. Oh, I think I'm going to get a full mat here. Oh, maybe not. I got exactly a full mat. Look at that. All right, so same process. I'm going to take it, bang it on the bottom. And when you're banging on the bottom of this, hold on to the mat with one thumb. You don't, it's going to go flying. There you go. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bang it like I did the other one. These have a lot of air bubbles. All right. So we're going to pop more air bubbles. You can see the tray. See? They're all piped. These are a lot smaller than the Silpat ones, as you can tell. And we're going to pop some bubbles. Tiny bubbles drive me crazy in macarons. You got a bunch of apples. My husband is informing me he's got a bunch of apples. I don't usually have this much air in my macarons. I don't know why this mixture is so bubblicious, but it is. All right, we're almost done popping all these godforsaken bubbles. You behind me? Hi. He worked the night shift tonight, so. All right, guys. I think I got the majority of these giant bubbles here. These are huge. All right, I think I got them. I think we're good. Oh, okay. I think I got like the majority of the big ones. All right. So these are going to do the same thing the other ones are doing. These are going to go over here and start drying. So there you go. There's the finished product with them piped on the mat. They're going to dry. All right. I'm going to clean up a little bit. Okay. So that is the whole process of making the macarons. That was from start to finish, how I make it, what I do, all the way to piping it. Now, all they're basically going to do is they're going to dry for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, where if you can touch the top, nothing comes off on your finger. That's about, you want to let them dry that long. That's about it. You don't really want to go past that. You don't want them like solid dry. And then I will put them in the oven for 5 minutes on 275 degrees. And then I will, after the 5 minutes is over, I will open it up, turn the tray 180 degrees, and put it up to 300 and bake it for another 16 minutes. So a total of around like 20 minutes at the most, but probably not even that long, probably more like 17 or 18. So I'm gonna check out for now. But I did want to show you guys the whole process. And then Monday night, I'm gonna actually come on when I come on at 8:45 to talk to you about the Macaron Bible. I am gonna actually show you the finished product and what they look like. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me with this special edition of Making Macarons. And I will see you soon. Bon appetit.